See, in Proverbs 15, verse 27, it says that the greedy brings ruin to their household, but the one who hates bribes will live. See, in my household, there have been many that have been um, responsible for being a part of gang stalking for, financial gain or maybe material gain. And the one that hates bribes, he will live. See, many a times I have been um, tapped on my shoulder, by God and told that, what your family's up to, what they're trying to do. And this is the reason why certain people are moving the way that they're moving. Whether it's in my neighborhood, whether it's people that sent to me, or whether it's on Facebook, whether it's anywhere. It's being orchestrated by something that is not good. And it comes from out of greed. Like my mother, let's say I want to say that she's the one, like I told you in one of my videos, she opened up the door for them to harass and stalk me because it was up to her to either reject it or to accept it. And as opposed to rejecting it, she accepted it. Now, mind you, I've always been the good son. She has other sons, and these people, my other two sons, will rob you, would steal from you, would even kill. And like I told you, at times I had to stop one of my other brothers from killing somebody, by speaking up at the time when he was being pressured to do it. And I spoke against it. And to this day, that changed the course of everybody's life. Mine, his, our children, the people that was their children, the person he was going to kill children. So they were all children of mercy. Now, I've always been a good child, and my grandmother had passed away. And my grandmother, it was certain things about my mother that she detested, and my mother wasn't going to change. So my grandmother passed away, and she left my mother out of the will. And before she left my mother before my mother was able to know that, my brother was incarcerated, and he needed people to take care of his affairs. And I told my mother to go get the power of attorney so you could handle his affairs. And she did. So she was his power of attorney, just to handle his apartments and certain things that he had to take care of that you would need authority to do. So she became his power of attorney. And while he was incarcerated, my grandmother passed away. And when my mother discovered that she was taken out of the will and that everything that my grandmother owned, she left to me and my brothers, as my older brother being the oldest of the three of us, she left it to him to split amongst me and my other brothers. Now, my mother did things for my grandmother that, nobody else would do. And I'm sure my brothers wouldn't have did, or just nobody. She was her daughter, and she did things like, bathed her, helped her use the bathroom, fed her, cooked for her, went shop, just, and we lived with her. We lived with my grandmother. My grandmother left all her inheritance to her grandchildren, like me and my brothers. And my mother, that hurted my mother, and I didn't want, my mother to hurt. So I told my mother, just keep it, and keep it. I don't care nothing about it. this one is locked up over here and that one's locked up over there, so they're not in no position to receive it. However, if they wasn't able to receive it, she left it to her sister. She left everything to her sister, and her sister was, and my mother was not on good terms. So, my aunt never knew that she was in my grandmother's will, because if her grandchildren wasn't able to receive it, she left it for my aunt, which is my grandmother's sister, to disperse between me and my brothers. So I told my mother, keep it, because it's the right thing to do, And as opposed to her, doing the right thing with it, she had, I believe she became targeted, because she ended up marrying somebody and he became her focal point. And what he actually was a Mason. And I believe that he was sent to her to spy on me, because, like I told you, I was tapped on the shoulder that these people are a part of something that's against you. They're actually plotting on you. So that's when my mother started acting weird. They started to she just started to act weird, and I could never put my finger on it. But like, I had a dream, and in my dream they told me, like, your mother's responsible for this, or she's behind this, or she's trying to keep you locked up. So like, my mother, she doesn't work, or she doesn't have money, but she has got a new car. This is outside of, or after the time that insurance money from my grandmother came. So she got a new car, and God said, she got that from, by unjust gains. She got that by, maybe conspiring against you. So basically what I'm saying is that she married a Mason, and there's something with Masons that's against me. He's not a bad person, or nor do I have anything against him, or do I have anything against Masons for that matter. But I do know that Masons are conspiring or behind the gang stalking, because one day God told me to go somewhere, and I went there, and I parked my car at a certain place, and where I parked my car at, a red car pulled up and parked in front of me. It had New York plates on it, and the guy hopped out the car and he looked at me, and he kept walking. And my mother's husband was called. He was like, "Yo, come here. Ain't that Yoshi?" And my mother's husband see me, and he hid. So from that moment on, I knew that, the Masons had something against me. I didn't know whether it was something good or something bad, but whatever I was going through, it had something to do with Freemasonry. Like, Freemasons were, plotting on me or planning something against me. And then God showed me that your inheritance is being held. If you are if you are a child of God, then Masons are responsible for, giving you your inheritance. So it could be something with them trying to take me out to keep my inheritance or whatever. But I'm not upset with anybody, especially, my mother, because anybody could be misled or, tempted. But like it says in Proverbs, he who is greedy for unjust gains brings trouble on his household, but he who hates pride lives. So they are unjust, getting unjust gains, because now they're going around, showing each other houses. Like, they don't have money to the point where they can afford a house at no time, cause especially in New Jersey, these houses is almost $500,000. So they don't have money to um to be going around buying houses. He doesn't work, and she doesn't work, and the only thing that they do is like they would get my brother to come up here. Like I stay in the condo that my grandmother left. Like it's a condo, but it's a 1 bedroom. And before he came, it was just me. And I slept in the bedroom, and my mother slept in the living room. And when he came, I gave them the bedroom, and now I sleep on the floor in the living room. I don't sleep on the couch. I rather sleep on the floor. I could have left, many dozens of times, which is going to be my ultimate result. Like I'm going to have to leave because you can't continue to live amongst people that's plotting and planning against you, especially if they're getting some sort of financial payout and they doing it like wickedly. Like I don't know what it is, or why my mother would do that when everything that she has, even her life to this day, because God could have took her when God took my father. When my father left, she could have left too, but the mercy of God allowed her to stay, and that mercy came through me and God's conversation. Should I take your mother? Nah, God, don't do that. Don't do that. So, she's here at the mercy of God. And why would she align herself with something wicked that's against your child? And that's not, it's not a good thing. But like I said, my brother would come up here and pretend like he had a fight with his wife, but all the while he's up here, he doesn't work, but when he comes up here, he gets a job and he works. He works like they'll set you up. Like I guess they run everything, being that they're usurper in the kingdom of God or God's world that God created. So they have access to any and everything in the world. So they get jobs, and he would be here all the while he's up here. He would just be shopping, just buying stuff, buying clothes, buying sneakers, buying this, buying that. But all the while, I'm feeling that he's here to spy on me, and as he's spying on me, he's getting paid for spying on me. And it's not a secret with the gang stalking, or what you have, the targeted individual program. It's not a secret, especially with me, because you have that connection with God, and God will allow you to know. But I do not hate them, or don't, or I don't even accuse them of anything, but I see what I see. Maybe they could be doing it for just means, or maybe they could be doing it for a particular reason. But what's inside of me is nothing but goodness. They spy, they watch you, they mock you, or they'll have people on YouTube pretending to be you, fake dreadlocks and gold teeth, or they would even have people that sent to you to harass you and destroy you. Like I had this woman that she's related. She has some sort of relationship with my mother's husband. And before my mother got married, me and the girl had dealings, and it was always something weird about her, like the way that she came to me. Nobody comes to me like that. Like if I don't approach a female, then I would never meet her. So she came and she approached me. So she was put into my life like to take me off course, or to harass me, who knows. But she came as a damsel in distress, and what a good person would do is try to help a person to the best of their ability. So I would try to help her in her situation, but as I'm trying to help her, she would seek to destroy me. But that's neither here nor there, because this is still going on to this day. You don't When you're a certain kind of way, when you have unconditional love, you don't allow people to turn you against them. You love them regardless of what. That's what unconditional love is. So you would have people that's telling you like to cut ties or to sever ties with people, and that's practically hard for a person with unconditional love. They do not care for themselves. They care, for the benefit of others, and that's where their their joy resides in seeing other people happy. So at no time would you want somebody to suffer. If somebody needs you, you're always at their call. You're always at their beck and call. You always, you need me? All right, I'm there. And that's the way you were designed to be. You was designed to be that way. So, like I found out, like I had to find out, like before, I went to this place where God told me to go. I didn't know that the guy was a Mason. But when I pulled up and I parked my car where God told me to park my car at, I've seen that, it was like a funeral. And everybody was dressed in Masonic regalia, like they all had Masonic garb on. And the guy knew me by my name. People that I never seen a day in my life knew me. Said, "Isn't that Yoshi?" And pulled out his phone and started recording me. And I didn't know whether this was a good thing or a bad thing. Like I told you, I've never felt physically threatened or violated by anybody, to the point where I would have to get on a defensive or take a defensive stand towards anybody. But why would the Masons, who was supposed to be, good and just and noble people, be behind something to destroy you? But that goes back to, what I was trying to say about the Holocaust and the people that was involved in the Holocaust, because we would want to believe that it was Hitler and Hitler alone by himself or moving on his own accord. But what they didn't know is that before Hitler even became in power, that they had a list that they was comprising of people that they wanted to get rid of. And not only that, but it was Masons that put him in the place where he was at. His financier was a Mason. So, that is the truth about certain things that I know about the Holocaust, that it wasn't Hitler on his own accord. He was a puppet that was put in there to carry out certain things. And maybe with the Jews, like if there was a racial thing, then George Soros wouldn't have been going around collecting property from people. If he's a Jew and it was a Jewish thing, then he would be amongst the Jews that was being persecuted. But it was the gypsies that was actually being persecuted and being rounded up and to be slaughtered, because Europe, from England to Scotland, they hated gypsies for however long. Even to this day, they refuse to give them justice for all the maltreatment that they endured to this day. So I know certain truths about certain things, and this may be one of the reasons why they are moving the way they are. And only thing you could do as far as not wanting to embrace or accept change because the truth is in front of you, is try to do away with the truth. And there's no way you're going to be able to do away with that truth. So these are things that I do know, that the financer is more important than the actual person that's carrying it out, because you don't have the resources to carry out what it is that you want to carry out unless you're being financed in a certain kind of way. So your financer, if you can get to the root of who is this and who is that, you will see that the financer, who his financer is is the people that are more responsible than the actual person that's carrying it out, because you give these people the energy to do it. So the Holocaust was not a racial thing, it was an economical thing. An economical thing for the ones that are greedy, that want to gain things unjustly. They bring trouble wherever they are, to every household, to every country, to every nation. They are troublesome. So basically, I'm indicating to everybody that may experience some sort of gang stalking, that may be the source of your gang stalking, may be the source of my gang stalking, which is Masons, Freemasons. Yes. So, this isn't something new. It's something that's been going on. And as long as they stay behind the scene and people don't see them doing stuff, then they'll continue to get away with it. But that's basically something that I'm going to have to expound on in another video, because like I said, they should apologize to Whoopi Goldberg, because I know the truth about certain things that the world might not have the time or the mind or the eyes to see. But let whoever has eyes to see, and who has ears to hear, hear. So I see things and I hear things, and which would make you a threat to people who don't want you to see or hear things. So you would have to have a different approach to certain things. If you don't want nobody to know a thing, but they do know it, don't make these people the enemies of nations or your nation, or of a fraternity or of a cult. Make this person somebody who you should honor and respect, and be if the system is designed to destroy you, don't destroy these people, because there's something very special and gifted about these people. Because this is the same story, the same exact thing happened to Christ. The same exact thing happened to Christ. And I'm cautious about saying Jesus, because the truth is that in Revelations chapter 3, verse 12, it indicates that you will not know Christ's name. You will not know you will have a new name. Even God will have a new name. It will be a new Jerusalem. It will be a new everything. So everybody clinging on the old will not make room for the new. So if you know that that person is going to have a new name, but you continue to lag on to the old, there's something going on with you. Because God is not the author of confusion. That's the devil. So the devil will have you saying his name is this, his name is that, his name is this, his name is that, his name is this, his name is that. Just to confuse you. But it's indicated that there will be a new name. There will be a new name even for God. Even for the new Jerusalem, there will be a new name for everything. So if we refuse to let go and say, I'm just with this and that's that, you will be able to tell who is who. But let those with eyes to see, and let those with ears to hear, hear.